Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Mindset with Mary podcast. I'm your host, Mary. And here we teach busy minds how to live their most authentic life, how to gain confidence, and how to step into their power. Girl, if you've got a busy mind, then stay tuned because each week we're going to dive into topics like mindfulness, resilience, goal setting, self-empowerment, sharing tips and stories to help you navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. If you're ready to unlock your full potential and create a life you love, grab a cup of coffee, find a cozy spot, and let's embark on this journey of growth and transformation together. Welcome to Mindset with Mary. Okay, beautiful. I am testing some new software for my podcast and just wanting to kind of get a good idea of what it's going to look like for me. So I'm doing a quick little mini series on body confidence just so I can test what it's like to record and upload into this software and what it looks like as far as publishing goes. So you get a quick mini series, I get to quickly figure out what the heck I'm doing, because of course, as soon as I have everything automated and everything figured out, the universe is just going to throw crap right at me and be like, all right, babe, here's the deal. If you really want to do this, if you really want to see things grow and pick up, then you better keep doing it despite all of the crap that gets in the way. And that's how life rolls. So, mini series on body confidence. The first thing I really want to talk about is my journey and what that looks like in terms of behind the scenes. Of course, as many of you know, I used to be a Beachbody coach, and I feel like I promoted myself as if I were this all ever confident person who yada yada and all the things. But here's the real deal. Behind the scenes, like, I was a crazy person. Well, I am still anyways, but I literally never felt like I was ever good enough in that whole part of my journey. Never once. And the reason why is because here I was trying to promote fitness and nutrition, and I didn't think I was good enough. And even when I reached some of my goals, I still didn't feel like I was good enough. And what I was doing in terms of the programs and the dieting and all of that at the time I thought was so good for me, I didn't realize that it was not sustainable for me. I was doing programs that sometimes were 7 days a week, and I was trying to figure out how I could get them in and never feeling like I was ever able to keep up with all of the big shots and all of these other fitness inspos, and just constantly comparing myself to everyone else's journey and realizing that I was never going to, or at least thinking that I was never going to be as fit as some of these other people. And I just want you to know, like, if that's you, if you're feeling that way in your body, that you're not the only one, you're not alone. I've worked with many women who have felt that way. I've worked with and it's so funny because even when I was doing like all of the mindset and manifestation coaching 2 years ago, a lot of people came to me so that they could live a healthier lifestyle, so they could love their body more. And I've seen so many just struggle with that. And I think that this is where we get to, as society, take a stance on that and learn to love our bodies so that we can show our daughters, so that we can show other women in, whether it be on Instagram or TikTok or, whatever it is, wherever, you share your fitness journey and all of that, like, they can also see that it's okay to love their body despite not being like the perfect Instagram body or the Pinterest body, or, the person who has the capability of putting more time and effort into their fitness journey, where, like me, and maybe most of you here listening, I'm just taking a wild guess, you're busy, you have a lot going on, maybe you have a career, maybe you have kids, maybe you have all the things going on, and it's not sustainable for you to be able to do a workout program that's 30 to an hour long, 6 to 7 days a week. Like, that is just not sustainable, especially if you are camping and doing all the things. Like, you have to get really realistic. And I know that when it comes to manifestation, like, you should look at your goals like outside of the box and like see bigger things for you despite that. And we're going to get to that later down the road, I promise. But when it comes to just starting out, like, just get really realistic with yourself. Like, what is the maximum amount of energy I can put into my health without burning out? And start there. But then also on a whole complete other spectrum, when it comes to your confidence and your ability to love yourself, I want you to just set that aside. To just completely, like, stop stressing about it. Write it down on a piece of paper. Like, I am committing right now to no longer allowing myself to stress and worry about how I look and whether or not I love myself, because we don't need layers of guilt on top of us not having the love for ourselves that, you know, we want to have. So just set it aside, take that piece of paper, rip it up, burn it, do all the like fun manifestation stuff with it, release all that energy, let it go, and then start looking at, okay, if I had already had a lifestyle in which I was confident in my body and I love myself as I am, and through the whole journey and process I enjoyed it, what is the kind of person I would be? And make a list of 5 things that person would be doing and start doing those. And maybe even just a list of one thing. If 5 things feels overwhelming to you, take it a step back and just go with one. And that one thing might be walking into your bed or your bathroom every morning and looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I love you, to yourself, looking at yourself in the eyes and literally just learning to love yourself. Imagine your child standing there in front of you, or someone you love in the mirror looking back at you. How would you treat that person? And start treating yourself as if you were someone you loved. My son is literally knocking on the door. All right, and we'll be back. All right, I have Bud Rember here with me for a minute, and I'm going to ask him a question, and he's going to respond. But what advice would you give to another mom or another woman who is looking to love their body more? What advice would you give to them?
I'd give them take care more of their body and eat healthier foods and less sugar and drink more water.
Okay, advice from Bud Rember. That was cute. He came in to ask if he could play his Nintendo, and being the crazy mom that I am, I told him that he couldn't play his Nintendo until he went and practiced riding his bike a couple times. So, side story, just more on my personal life. Bud is 8 years old now and has literally had no desire to ride a bike, and still really doesn't. He's excited because I've told him that if he learns, I'll buy him a new bike, but I have to bribe him. Like, you can play your Nintendo after you go practice trying to ride your bike. Like, oh my gosh. But I haven't forced it on him. I try not to force anything on my kids if they don't like it. And at the same time, I think there's important things that we need to stay consistent with, especially when it comes to school and all of that. But he just hasn't been interested in riding a bike. And it's just crazy to me because I remember riding mine all around the neighborhood and he just doesn't care. So anyways, back to podcast episode. So Bud's advice was fantastic, and I truly agree with all of those things. Taking care of your body and giving it what it needs. However, I'm also like, as I'm recording this, it's just funny to think that like over the last 8 years, he has heard his mom say, like, these are the things you need to be doing to be healthy. And while that's great and wonderful, I hope that over the next 8 or so years before he's an adult, I also teach him that it's really also about enjoying the journey and not stressing about eating, sugar and all of the things. And really, it's more important about loving who you are and, enjoying the healthy lifestyle, right? Because if you're not enjoying it and it's not sustainable and you're just in it to get fit and comparing yourself to everyone else, then how is that fun? And so I really hope that I can just teach him that over the next couple of years. Now, I feel like men, and maybe I'm wrong here, I have no idea. So go ahead and leave a comment or let me know if I'm wrong, because maybe not all guys are this way, but I just feel like my husband could care less what his body looks like. He's just happy to just go live his life and do all the things. So anyways, just kind of a quick recap as far as what I would recommend when it comes to body confidence and just being able to enjoy your journey is to set it aside and start approaching life as if you already had that body confidence and how you would be feeling and how you would be embodying that version of you. And maybe that version of you would be, looking at yourself in the mirror every day and loving yourself and just appreciating where you're at. As far as like food freedom and all of the other things that come along with body confidence, because I feel like there's so much guilt and stress and all that stuff around it, around dieting and just the healthy lifestyle. There's so much to that, and I want to talk about it and I want to address it, but this is just, again, a quick little mini episode for me so I can test this new podcasting platform and figure out how to make it work and get a podcast up and going. So I might even do a whole nother episode on body confidence once I have something written out and have it mapped out as far as like what the exact steps are and all of that, rather than just throwing out a bunch of word vomits with no idea what I'm going to say, just fingers crossed that I don't say anything too crazy. But then you also got to hear cute little Bud and how amazing and wonderful he is. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, please go ahead and rate and review the podcast. It would mean the world to me. And if you're interested in resources that I have available currently, I don't have too many going on. I'm trying to create a program to help support the podcast and be able to help get more content created and all the things. So anyways, go ahead and see the link in the show notes. That's where you'll find the resources. I have the manifestation journal, and we also have, oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. Hi, ADHD. That's who I am. I have all the things in my mind and it's not on a piece of paper, and that's why I write it down on a piece of paper before I sit here. Anywho, go check out the resources and the link and all the things. So love you with all my heart. Have a great day. Mwah.